Now, listen, open a money market fund for your kid or kids. For God's sake, let us eradicate what we call the poverty in Africa. By the way, do you usually have the pain like I have at all the time? You feel like we Africa, like we do suffer a lot. You find like a lot of what we call the trailing poverty. By the way, there's a video coming about that. See, trailing poverty in African families. And then you ask yourself, how did these guys get it right? And let me tell you one secret, guys. If we don't do this, then I'm telling you, obviously, I do not, give hopes. What I do, I just share the real information with you for you to take an action about it. For God's sake, open an MMF or a money market fund for the sake of your kids. Let me tell you one secret. Me and you, obviously, when we were in school, we were never taught anything to do with what we call the financial, what do you call it, the personal or financial literacy. We were never taught this topic called financial literacy. We were never taught this topic. It was never provided. Yeah, just like we used to ask when we were small, where do small kids come from? And if you come from Africa, you can tell me the kind of answers you used to get. Personally, I used to be told that kids are bought in a supermarket until I learned by myself. They also assume that you learn things to do with financial literacy by yourself. So, we are here. This is Good Joseph speaking. I talk about finances and investment. I try as much as I can by the gift that God has given me and the streets that has given me to talk about finances. So we have So we have the chances, you and me, to learn this thing. So let us pass this information to our kids for the sake of the future. Now, this is what I'm going to discuss with you today. And by the way, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm just requesting, hit that like button. By the way, you know the importance, the moment you like a video, YouTube pushes it and a lot of people come in. So do me that favor by just liking the video and make sure that you subscribe again so that you become a bigger family, and share the video to your members if you're in a position to. Let's continue. See, talking about making sure that at least you open a money market fund. Why a money market fund? There are many other areas where you can invest for your kid, but why a money market fund? For example, say maybe you just got married some recently and obviously you're gonna get a kid. Or maybe right now you're watching this video and your wife is already pregnant. And the moment your wife becomes pregnant, you're supposed to think, especially as a man, one thing that you're supposed to know is this: hey, there are some expenses that you expect. The moment you see a kid growing, maybe you have a small kid, a brand new kid, or maybe say your wife is pregnant, then therefore it means that some expenses are coming. So don't act shocked. Some expenses. If one day you'll be told to pay school fees, don't act shocked like if it just happened like yesterday. No, you already know those are expenses that are coming. And this is how you do it. When I say open a money market fund for a kid, it can be two ways, okay? Let's start with the first way. First way, you can open for that kid for the purposes of supporting that kid. When I say supporting, I mean like educating the kid and all the expenses. I always tell people, if you can be wise, it is good to separate that what the kids are asking are their bills and what have you from your normal bills, so that you don't get disturbed along the way when you're doing your savings and the investments. For example, if you take an MMF, you pick an MMF and you do, this is for what we call providing for the kids, or you can call it providing for the kids or whatever. And that MMF, you pick it out there and say, from the time kid, let's say maybe this kid is 1 year old, okay? Or maybe 2 or 3, 10, 15, whatever that kid is that you're having right now, okay? The only thing that I cannot tell you to open is for kid who is already above 18 years. That's a bit tricky unless you teach them to do it by themselves. Say your kid is at 1 year old, okay? You open them an MMF because you know in Kenya, by the age of 3 years, they actually go to what? They usually go to school. So what you do, you open an MMF. And this MMF, you don't have to put a lot of money. In Kenya, we have some MMFs you can put even 1,000 bob. Just 1,000 shillings at the end of the month. It doesn't have to be at the end of the month, at any given time. But obviously commit yourself at least a month, make sure that at least you've saved that 1,000 bob. And if you do not having at a go, you can save the first 100, the second 200, the third 300, that whatever. So you consolidate that amount, dedicate it to that money market fund. You keep on channeling that amount of money to that kid's account. You say by the time now they are going to 3 years, that's when they're joining the kindergarten, you've already accumulated. Let's say monthly you do your 1,000 bob. You do your 1,000 bob each and every month to that years. And that will be 1,000 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 3. You can just imagine how much is that. I have not even calculated the interest. Obviously, this money is attracting interest. And then you continue that. By the time now this kid is maybe hitting like, what age did they join the high school? Talk of 14 years in Kenya. 14 years, that's when they join. So 14 years now, can you imagine this? All this money is actually pumping in. Although you are getting some to pay the school fees, but it's not a capital intensive when the kid is young. The moment the kid join high school, all the way henceforth, that's when a substantive amount of money are being required to pay the school fees or the sustainabilities. You can just imagine this. By the now time kid is hitting the 14 years now, this money is actually maybe attracting sort of like 13% or something of sort. For the next 14 years, that kid, guess what happens now? You're actually gonna separate the needs of the kid from your normal bills. You don't even worry about, have you ever been in a situation whereby all the bills are actually mixed up? Bill for the rent, for the electricity, for the water, for the debts, for the family members, that is for the black tax, for your entertainment, they're all in one basket. But the moment you have a separate account, you say, hey, now this is a money market fund, anything the kid will need is actually going for that. That is one way you can achieve it. That is a way of sustaining a kid for how him to grow until they become adults. That's one way of sustaining. The other way you can, of which I highly recommend and advise, is when you open a money market fund for the same kid on the basis of trying to make them financially free by the time they become an adult. For example, if you pick your kid, maybe say your kid is, maybe let's say you didn't have the information before, now that's the time you're having it. You pick a money market fund when your kid, let's say, is at 3 years or 4 years or whatever the years that your kid is. The only thing I'm not advising is when a kid is above 18. Don't even bother about that. They can do it by themselves. You can share the videos with this, bring them here, they watch this video, they can do it for themselves, okay? But before that, you can be like, okay, fine. I know very well in Africa, and I don't know why most of the parents, you disregard this information, and you already know. You have information. Personally, I'm a graduate. I've never been gotten a job. I've never been employed. I have my certificates and degrees. I have them. I've never utilized them. I have never placed any food on the table because of my degree. And some of you are in the same situation. But you're doing the same thing to the kids expecting a different result. I was about to give you a very big name, but I won't. But you know very well when you do the same thing, expecting a different result, what kind of an individual you are. You. See, now what you do, say you pick this kid at 3 years, and you do so continuously for the 15 years. You just say, this amount of money that I'm keeping aside is for this kid by the time they hit 18 years. But 18 years, I still can't trust my kid with money at 18 years, honestly. I don't know whether we are the same or we are the same on that thing. Maybe at 21, 22, at least when they are old. I would say 21. 21 is a bit okay. Because even at 18 years, that's still a kid. You know, they are barely 1 year. You know, when you're 18, you're only 3 years since you became an adult. For example, when you are 40, you're only 22 years since you became an adult. So don't count the last 18 years. You're just a kid. You're under the arms of the care of your parents or guardians. See, from 3 all the way to 21 years, that's like 18, not even like, it's 18 years, okay? This 18 years, honestly speaking, even if you were to go and take this money market fund, even if it's giving you an interest rate of 10%, and you say, I'll be dedicating just 1,000 shillings continuously, by the time now this kid hit this period of, or this age, I'm going to do something for the kid. But now the mistake you can do is that you don't tell kids anything to do with finances. You don't even, the kids does not even have the manners, because there are kids who are actually, there's, you people, because you are parents, some of you who are watching me, you already know this information. There's some kids, they're yours, you look at them and you be like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I love them. These are my kids, but I'm so worried if I can even leave properties to this kid. This guy can even sell these properties the next day I die. It's true. There's some of the kids that are so frustrating in life. But I do believe if you teach them, you see, I'm subscribing to the Bible because I'm a believer of God. And I do believe in that. And the Bible tells me that teach your kids some things when they are young. And once you teach them, they'll never depart from those characteristics. And guess what, guys? As I make this video, it's funny, the lights has just gone. But I'm not going to stop. This message has to be preached. Let's continue. So what happens is that you find, so bear with me. So what happens is that the moment this kid hit this age, 18 years, before, from the 10th year all the way to 21 years, you do what we call, you coach them, you teach them, you guide them, teach them things to do with financial literacy. This is what you do. This is what you follow. This is what you actually proceed. These are the procedures. You let them know, hey, I'm saving this, I'm doing this, and by the time you do this, you're going to get this. So by the time now you're telling them, for example, let's say when they become, or they reach to a certain level where they can decipher some information, you can tell them there is something called money market fund. And this money market fund, by the way, guess what? You can save as little as you can. You show them, hey, guess what? Even if you have your 200, 100, 10 shillings, whatever the thing it is, you just bring it to me. I save it for you. We do this, we do this. And you try to sort of inculcate that culture inside of them. And then you try to show them, don't ever let them know that you save money for them. For God's sake, never, ever, ever let them know that you save money for them. That can actually propagate what we call the laziness. So what you do, you try to show them that what they are saving, maybe when you give them 100 bob, when they come across some cash, you try to inculcate that culture of savings when they can decipher the information. I'm not saying you do so when they are 3 years old, although it still is okay. But the moment they try to hit the 5 years, 7 years, is 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, until now they hit like 10, 12, 13, 14. Now they become big adult. The moment they hit 15 years, now you can discuss serious things as you go continuously. You tell them now what you are saving. Make them see or make them understand or assume whatever you are telling them to save is exactly what they're actually saving. Don't ever let them know that there's something that they save. So now when you actually inculcate that culture of investment and savings, a time will actually come and hit a certain age. And when they hit that particular age, now they already know what is a savings. They already know the sacrifice that is needed to actually go ahead and save. So by the time now they hit 21 years old, where you can sit down as two adults, you can tell them, guess what? All that period of time, there's something that I was actually investing on this, You don't even let them, this was your money. You ask them, if you were to get this amount of money, what would you do? Where would you channel it? What are some of the actions would you do? And all those kind of things. And let me tell you one secret. Even if this kid actually graduates and does not get any job, I can assure you on a very serious note, you actually created or you've actually nurtured an individual who is dependently free, somebody who has a free mind, somebody who can actually cater by themselves and they can do something by themselves. And that is exactly what you do. So that at least don't reach a certain particular age and you are kind of frustrated, you are kind of shocked. You are shocked that the kids are shocked. They don't even know where to start. You can just imagine this. We graduated, we went back home, we met our parents back at home, and they were shocked. Yeah, we are shocked. We don't have the job. They are shocked. They have invested all their cash and all their money and all their attentions and time. And this is the kid back at home, do not have a job. They kind of become frustrated. And you also become even frustrated more because at least for them, they're actually facing off the bringing up, the process of bringing up. But for you, you're actually starting up. I don't even have a place where you can actually lean on. You get what I'm saying? So not until we do this kind of different things, that is the only way not until we do this, we're gonna struggle. We're gonna have all these problems that we have in Africa, where we tend to believe, hey, the only way we can actually succeed in this life, we have to fly off this continent, go overseas, and try maybe to learn from them and do and learn. And I always ask myself, where did those guys go? Because probably you ask somebody, maybe an African will tell you, I would like to go to Europe, I would like to go to America. Yeah, they're great countries, I love them, they are great, they have done something. But the question is, when they were growing, where did they go? Where? You see, the necessity is the mother of invention. For God's sake, in Africa, we don't even experience no. And if you do somewhere, then I stand corrected. We like from where I come from in my country, you can have a you can have a winter in the morning and during the day you have summer. You can have two seasons at the same time. You can just imagine what I'm saying. So not until we create that necessity of growth, we cannot invent anything. That's why it said the necessity is the mother of invention. Not until we create that necessity, not until we do that, we ain't going to invest in anything new. And that is the only way we can progress and move to the next level. And never forget this, and this will be the tail end of my conversation, or rather of this video. Poverty usually starts in our mindset before it goes to our pockets. By the way, absence of something in our pocket is actually a reflection of what has been going on in our mind. So it is good to be very, very careful what you put out there. Otherwise, you can actually get yourself into lots of problems. So the thing is, these guys take time, do exactly what I've shown you, and you can start this money market fund. And maybe perhaps you don't know what is it. I always tell you, you can get my number from the description of this specific video. You shoot me a call, and that way I can be able to guide you step by step on what you can be able to do so at a cup of coffee's price. Or you can get a booklet. The booklet goes for only 280 Kenyan shillings. That's less than even $2. Less than $2. That's like $1.8 or something. You get yourself a copy, you get to learn, and you can do something as far as your life is concerned. For now, it's a goodbye, but don't forget, this is Good Joseph speaking. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and also comment on the comment section, and let's do something. That is the only way we can progress to the next level. See you the next one.